Morning, folks. It's a little bit later in the morning. I've been in there working on a computer, doing a few little old plans for people and material lists, estimates, that sort of thing. We get quite a few calls for that. I know I hadn't been on here in about 3 weeks or so. It's been super hot. We've been well over 100 every day, and we have not got the monsoons yet. We had back earlier, I don't know if you remember, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 videos ago, I talked about we were getting rains in the weekend, maybe a month ago, and we got those, and then we didn't get anything after that. And by now we're usually a couple weeks into the monsoons, and there's nothing much on the radar till maybe Thursday. It depends on which forecast you look at. So it's hot, it's dry. It has been unbearably hot. A couple days yesterday, it was like 109 degrees. So during the day, we're not doing much. We do stuff early, do stuff late. And I just hadn't really felt like getting on here. Did get our fences up. We've got panels. I'll take you down there and show you that. We got panels up to keep cows out. So we got the cows out. Our little garden, not doing the best. The heat has really hurt it. I got to go down and check on the boys, get them some feed, and just check on the pasture conditions down there, check on the grass. Like I say, it's hot, it's dry, and we're praying for rain. I want to give a shout out to Mary Mills. She sent us, she's a subscriber, she sent us these goat and sheep hoof nippers. And I'm not sure who sent these. There was no card in there. One of our other subscribers sent these. These are going to come in so handy when we're trimming the sheep and the goats. I had said in the last video where we did that I needed to get some of these, and you guys went over there to our wish list and you got them for us. So Mary Mills, thank you. And whoever sent these, sometimes we get cards in there, these little cards like this. Sometimes we do not, but thank you. We really appreciate it. It's always humbling to get these gifts, and we'll put these to good use, just like our shepherd staff and our shepherd's crook. We really appreciate it. So we got all of our fences up. This is what we're using for gates right now. This is a 32-foot opening. Using these 16-foot cattle panels, we can kind of lock it up. It ain't the best, but it's what we got for right now. This keeps cows out. We've got another one down there at that gate, across it. The cows, I don't know if you guys can see this, we actually had a cow butt this. She was mad because she couldn't come in here. They had been coming in and out just for whatever reason, habit or whatever. But you can see the tracks right here. They come and walk right down our fence line. And some of the neighbors have been having issues with them getting into their stuff. And I think a lot of it is the size of the properties. Their properties are a lot smaller. The ones been having issues, and their stock are right up on the fence. Their stuff's right up on the fence. And these old range cows, if they can see it or smell it, they'll get to it. They'll tear stuff up. But so far, they've been staying out of here. They haven't broke our fence down, so I'm thankful for that. But I'm excited about not having the cows in here and them not getting to what plants we do have, our little garden, if you call it that. It's more of an experiment, just to see what exactly we're going to need for the future to actually get things to grow out here. This is the willow tree that we planted. I think it's been 2 years now. We've been here 3. This is about 2 years old. We was here about a year before we planted it. And every year, it grows up about this size, and then it dies back in the fall. It didn't really grow up big and tall. We didn't know if it was going to come back this year. It did. It had a really late start. We started watering it. Miss Polly trimmed back all the dead, and it actually came back to life. It's doing really well. Not sure what kind of willow it is, but the rabbits will eat this. They actually chew on the bark and kill it. There's also some chipmunks around here that like to eat on the bark. This has kept them out so far, and like I say, it just didn't grow that much. We got a well here around it. We fill it full of water every day, and that's where it's at after 2 years. Hopefully it'll grow up to be more than a bush, but it's green and we like it, so we water it. This is our pepper plant that the cows uprooted one night. We planted it back in there, and it has actually stayed alive. It hasn't bloomed again yet. Before they uprooted it and mistreated it so badly, it was blooming. So probably won't get any peppers off of it, but we're just keeping it alive. This is our blackberry bush. We didn't know if it was going to come back. It did. Actually, the cows ate on it too, amongst other animals. The only thing I can tell you out here is you've got to have the Fort Knox of gardens. We have cats. We have been catching, I could show you some gruesome stuff over here. I've been catching some squirrels and rats at night. Been trying to catch them. I've caught 4 in the past 2 nights. 3 rats, and I'm talking huge rats, and these chipmunks, ground squirrels. They will eat the blooms off of our plants. Last night they actually ate the cucumbers that we had. The beans are still doing good. We need to transplant those. Another project I haven't gotten to. May be a waste of time, but we're keeping them alive. Our lettuce is doing pretty good. Something ate all the spinach one night, eat it all. Some of Miss Polly's flowers just died off, regardless of what we did. It's just too hot. Some of these plants will not last out here. You'll find out real quick which ones can stand the heat, which ones can't. Like I say, what we would like to do is build a shade house. I think a 50, 60, even a 75% shade for most of these plants. It's gonna have to have chicken wire, 1/4-inch mesh, and for that reason it has to be fairly small, because that stuff gets expensive. You go to the store, you're looking at $100 for a 50-foot roll. So we've got to figure out where our greenhouse is going to be, where our shade house is going to be, and then start adding up the cost. Our tomatoes and pepper plants seem to be doing pretty good. We've got quite a few blooms on our tomatoes. They're small. We've got a couple small pepper plants. They've got, right there's a bloom on that one. Something has eat on this one over here. Some of her flowers, not sure what this one is, they bloomed out, and now the heat, it got up to 109 yesterday, so it really hurt them. Our potatoes, we wanted to see how they do in containers. Yesterday morning, this was a vibrant, just as green as the tomato plant. Vibrant plant, 109 yesterday, and the sun sets back over behind that tree. So the hottest part of the day is like right above that tree, the timeline on the sun, and then a little bit lower, and it cooked these potatoes. So shade is the only way that you're going to keep plants growing out here in this heat. Tons of blooms on this squash plant. I think this is zucchini. No female blooms, mostly all male blooms. That's the other thing you have to take into consideration. We don't have a lot of bees out here because we don't have a lot of water. There's some folks around that are trying. I have seen a few little old honeybees, but pollination, some of this stuff you have to hand pollinate yourself. So if you don't know how to do that, don't know how to identify which is male and which is female blooms, you might want to check into that. There's a lot of stuff out there on the internet, a lot of videos, first one thing another, where you can take them. We just have not had them here. So some of these plants, some of these seeds that we're getting that are not heirloom, that you didn't get from an heirloom source, I don't know if they're not maybe genetically modified to not produce. It certainly seems that way when you talk to some people out there who've had issues with stuff growing, stuff actually pollinating, actually getting fruit. The plant's growing, but it's blooming sometimes, but they're not getting pollination, they're not getting any fruit off of it. So it's kind of a waste of time and energy. So if you can get your seeds from heirloom sources, verifiable sources, it's always a good deal. So we've been putting up more of these lights, just showing you guys some of the smaller things that we've done that really don't take a whole video to show. We picked these up at a local store. They were on sale. The installation on them, I wasn't real happy with. The ones that we put up, I think it's in our honeydew list video. They have been super, super nice. But I put up one right here on the corner of this shed, and I put up one right here at the corner of this sheep pen. The only thing that I know for a fact that will deter these varmints, coyotes, that sort of thing, is lights. And not only that, when I'm coming, the dogs are going crazy at night. When I'm coming down, the more lights I have over here, if anything's leaving the area, then I can rightly identify it, whether it be two-legged or four-legged. And these lights are pretty inexpensive. These here are only 5 lumens, but when you're feeding out here coming in late at night, or you're coming down here to check on stock late at night, they're really, really nice to have. I've got some big solar spotlights around. What my plan is eventually is to put a big pole up on all 4 corners and have the lights pointed out with motion sensors. I want to get some of those big lumens spotlights or like street lights, and have them pointed out. That way, if you come down here in the middle of the night, you can actually see what you're seeing. So we did take Buck, turned him in here. I'm pretty sure his sister and his mother that's in here were bred already. They look bred. I had seen Percy paying attention to them, so I turned Buck in here to kind of clean it up. Percy got real fat. It doesn't take much for these Dorpers to stay fat, and he got fat, so I think he got kind of lazy. I turned Buck in here, and I'm thinking pretty much all these ewes are bred. I'm hoping. We had 3 different rams in here, so it's going to be luck of the draw. Hoping by October, November, we've got some babies on the ground again. So they're all looking really good. They're just hot. They've got shade here, shade over there. Keep plenty of fresh water over there in the shade under that tree, so that's cool for them. And the more pregnant they get, the more miserable they're going to be. So I'm really hoping that we get a full lamb crop and don't have no issues with them. One of the things I have to do about every 3 days, or the flies get really bad this time of year, is spray. I use a permethrin, or I think that's how you say it, mix. I tell everybody about it. You add a little bit of dishwashing liquid to it. I went through the gallon sprayers. They usually only last about a season. I'm gonna spray around these chickens. I'm gonna spray the sheep. I have to change the nozzle to spray the sheep and the horses. I spray the ground, I spray the chicken coops themselves. Spray this tree. Anything to deter the flies. I spray him, and of course he rolls. The old mare, she's actually for sale. Anna's been riding her. If you check out her social media, she's really doing a whole lot better, but she does need a little bit more of an experienced rider. A new rider would be in trouble with her. I've got a fly mask on her because the sun, she doesn't do real good. Even though she's dark skinned, she doesn't really do real good in the sun, and I think she's a little bit more allergic to the flies. Like I say, I spray them down, and she, her eyes kind of swell up. So I keep a fly mask on her, and that kind of helps with that situation. He does great. He just gets real dirty every time I spray him. You're filthy. The other component for summertime care, more so than in the winter, is salt. The more salt they eat, this is a mineral salt specifically designed for sheep. It's not cheap, but if you don't have salt out, I give them salt whenever they eat it down. I give the rams, I got those 2 rams in there, I give them salt. And the horses have salt blocks, mineral blocks. And even us, table salt, just regular iodine table salt is the worst thing you can take, particularly in the summer. Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, those are really good. You want to get that water into your system, you know, down into your cellular structure. And iodine salt, you know, just regular table salt, it'll actually dehydrate you. I really believe in salt. We use a lot of salts when we're out working. We get real sweaty, we lose a lot of sodium, and we get dehydrated. If you don't have that sodium in your body, that's what carries electrolytes throughout your body. And if you don't have that, you get dehydrated. You can drink all the water you want. You're not going to take and rehydrate. So we'll eat watermelon, which is a really good treat. We give it to our chickens. In the summer, it's got enzymes in it, which is cool, and we'll eat it with Himalayan salt, and man, does it ever make you feel a lot better. As soon as the rest of this water drains out, I'm gonna go down. I've got the fly spray in there. I'm going to spray the boys down, go give them a little grain, check on them, and check on the grass conditions. I'll take you guys with me. Between now and then, I think I'm gonna go up to the house, and I'm gonna have a cold drink, sit on the fan a little bit and cool out. I've been out here all morning. There's old Spurs. Made it down here. Cowboy and Blaze are down there in the bottom. I'm gonna take them some feed and spray them with fly spray. Here come old Spursy boy. Hey Spursy boy, Purdy boy. Come on. About time to trim them again. I'll holler up for them and they'll come follow us feed. The other two are slow about coming in. Come on, boys. Come on, pretty boy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Cowboy's always been kind of a standoffish pony. Blaze is moving slow. You all right there, Blazy? Come on, buddy. Hot day today. Hold in there. Oh. Hey, Blazy. Oh, Blaze is hurt. Don't know what's, his leg is swelled up. So, I don't know how much of the footage I got. And I got some more footage afterwards that I probably won't show you guys. I noticed when Blaze was coming in, he was limping. He didn't look real good. I was down here a week ago. When you turn horses out on pasture, you don't get to see them every day. After closer inspection of Blaze, I found his leg just wasn't swelled, it was broke. He broke the cannon bone between the fetlock and the hock, and evidently had been that way for a few days because his leg was really swelled, and I thought that his leg was swelled over top of his hoof, but once I looked at it, it was actually he slipped a hoof. So the outer hoof wall was totally slipped off and he was actually walking on his cannon bone, which really made me sick, knowing that he was in that kind of pain. So I did what I had to do with his broke leg. He was dragging it. It was broke. There was a lot of movement in it, lateral movement, which is not supposed to happen. I don't even know how he was walking on it. I took him out on the desert and I had to put him down. You know, we've had that horse for almost 8 years. He's been a really good, awesome horse. We've used him quite a bit, and now it's like that, he's gone. So I think tomorrow morning I'll come down early. I'm gonna load Spurs and Cowboy up. I'm just gonna take him to the house. I know Anna's gonna be heartbroken. I called Miss Polly. They're on a trip right now. I'm pretty tore up over it. Just I hate to lose an animal, and I hate, you know, losing a horse like that. So I'm just gonna end this right here, and what can you do? At least now he's not in pain, and his trials and tribulations of this whole world's over. So remember, this whole world's getting pretty crazy, and if you don't know which way to go, commit your ways unto the Lord. Trust also in Him. He'll bring it to pass. We'll see you later.